Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Road to NoWhere podcast. I'm your host, Edward Extreme, and thank you guys for tuning in on this glorious Tuesday. Yes, for those of you that are new around here, new episodes are going to go live on Tuesday, and for those of you that have been here for a while, shush. I said it last week, okay? If it happens again, we're just moving to Tuesdays. We're moving to Tuesdays, okay? 3 weeks in a row, videos have gone up on Tuesday. Screw it, we're just sticking with Tuesdays. I for some reason just cannot make Mondays happen, so forget it. We'll just move forward. One day, not that big a deal. Anyways, in this episode, I have a story time for you guys. It's been a while since I've done story time. Not the best of stories. You'll find out exactly what I mean by that later. But before I get to story time, very briefly, I want to give my thoughts and opinions on the Destiny 2 expansion Beyond Light. And I'm going to keep this real short and sweet because I don't want to say too much because honestly, there is still a lot of the expansion that has not actually been released. They are time releasing it because they really want to keep the player base engaged as long as possible, as opposed to just throwing a bunch of stuff at us and saying, have fun. So I'm fine with that, but I like what I've played so far. I like the story. I like the narrative. I like the lore. I like everything that's going on. I can't wait for the seasonal content to start this week. That's actually supposed to start today. So I'm looking forward to it. I am enjoying my experience right now. That being said, it is also screwing with my abilities to film hardcore survival. So yeah, I still only have one episode shot, so I need to get on that sometime this week, get it edited, and get it up to you guys, hopefully by next week. Follow me on Twitter for updates on that, because I am going to try and pre-record the next 2 episodes of this show, of this podcast, later this week. So, yeah. Follow me on Twitter for updates on schedule of when videos are going to go live, so on and so forth, because that's where I'm going to do it from now on, because it's just easier. Anywho. So, yeah, story time. Been a while since I've done one of these. So, first off, I need to clarify some things for newer viewers. Whenever I do these story time videos, I don't use anyone's real name. It's a legal reason for it. I've never really explained the full reason, but the long and short of it is, I don't want to get sued. That pretty much sums it up. And so, yeah, I give everyone aliases or quote-unquote alternate names, fake names, whatever you want to call it. And so while I've probably used the name before, I am completely talking about someone else. So for the purposes of this story time, the individual in question is going to be called Sam. And me and Sam met in late August, early September. I think it was early September, honestly. Of 1999. I was 17, she was 16. She would be 17 in a few months. But at the time, actually, if I remember correctly, she was going to be 17 in like a month or 2 after we met. But that's beside the point. So, there I am. And I was just a schmuck 17-year-old kid. I was an idiot. I was dumb. I did dumb shit. And this story very much embodies me being an idiot. But so me and Sam met in a Yahoo chat room. Again, it's 1999. And one of the downsides to the internet in 1999 is that not everyone had a picture or was willing to share said picture because people were afraid of the response. Sam was no different. I did have a picture, and I sent it to Sam. Now, Sam gave me her description of her physical appearance, and I'll be honest, she sounded hot. From her description, she sounded like my type of woman, okay? She sounded like she was all that in a bag of chips, all right? She literally had everything I wanted. Big boobs, the right kind of body type, the right height, the right color hair, the right attitude, the right personality, everything about her. She was, sadly, when I look in hindsight, she was the woman I wish I had today, okay? In every way possible. But I didn't know this. I didn't know. I mean, I knew about her personality and stuff because we talked. We text messaged for a while, or instant message. It's Yahoo. We instant messaged for a while, and then we went and started talking on the phone. And when we were talking on the phone, I remember thinking, God, she sounds amazing. She sounds gorgeous. Why the fuck is she interested in me? So the day comes, we're finally going to meet, and I'm nervous as hell. And I'm nervous for what some people, when I've told them this story before, they go, that's the stuff you were nervous about? Yeah. I was nervous more about whether or not she would be okay with me kissing her, holding her hand, putting my arm around her. Those first steps of connecting with someone. I was always nervous about those things. To this day, I'm still nervous about those things. But once we cross those thresholds, it's like, shit. That being said, there I am getting ready to go meet Sam, and I got to go to school that day. And while at school, I would bump into, for all necessary purposes, we're going to call her Maria. I've probably called her something else in the past. But Maria is my ex-girlfriend. And she was not my girlfriend at this time. I would start dating her like 9 months later, whatever. She would end up cheating on me with a friend of mine. So I'm at school and I talk to Maria and I tell her how excited I am about going to meet Sam and how I really hope this is the one. And finally, I'm 17. I want to point that out. I'm 17. I'm already thinking about, marriage and kids and the whole 9 yards, the happily ever after, because I knew that's something I wanted for myself, very much so. And I would spend the next 21 years still looking for it. And I've come close a couple times, and something always happens that takes it away from me. But in this instance, the only person to blame is myself. But so as I'm talking to Maria about Sam, Maria says something to me that threw me off in a big way. She made the comment that she didn't know I was single. She thought I was dating someone else already. She was told I was dating so-and-so. And I'm like, wait, what? No, I'm not dating that person. And so Maria then says, oh, well, I wish I'd known that because I've been thinking you and I could be a thing. Man, I wish I hadn't talked to her that day. Anyways, so I leave school, and straight from school, I'm supposed to meet up with Sam. We're supposed to meet on the San Diego trolley and go to Mission Valley Mall, where we're supposed to go watch a movie at the movie theater there. Well, I get on the trolley, and I have a description of what I'm supposed to look for Sam. Because, again, I don't have a picture. I don't know what she looks like. No idea. I sit down on the trolley, and I'm sitting next to this young woman, this young girl, who looks exactly the way Sam said she was going to be dressed. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, no, there's no fucking way. No way in hell. And then this girl says to me, excuse me, is your name Eddie? And I'm like, oh, fuck me. So this girl, again, Sam literally was drop dead gorgeous. And she very much downplayed certain elements of her appearance when she was describing herself to me. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, what? Like, I thought, wait, what? And she goes, yeah, sorry. I wanted you to not worry so much about the way I looked and kind of get to know me. And I'm like, well, I'm glad you did, because I like who you are and I'm glad I'm here right now. Man, I wish I had remembered that statement later. As we're riding the trolley, Sam and I kiss. And I put my arm around her, and like all this stuff is happening very quickly. Sam is being very, very blunt with me, very upfront, and telling me exactly what she's thinking. And she's telling me, look, I like you a lot. You treat me right. You You don't treat me like a piece of meat. You don't treat me like a piece of shit. I really like you, and I really hope you like me. And she says all these things, and of course, me being a guy, I'm 17, I'm an idiot, I make a joke. And I said, well, I mean, if you really like me, when we get here, you know, you should go somewhere and, you know, maybe fool around a little bit. And she's like, okay. I legit was like, you're fucking with me, right? Like, you realize I'm fucking around, right? I don't mean that. And she's like, no, I'm serious. If you want to do that, I'm down. But understand, I really want you to be my boyfriend. And in that moment, I'm like, fuck yes, I am so down. Man, I really wish I held on to that. I know I'm giving away the ending of this somewhat, but there's a reason. Anyways, so we get to the trolley station in Mission Valley, and Sam and I go looking for a place where we can be alone. After we find said place, Sam and I start kissing. Her shirt comes off, and then my pants went off. And the next thing I know, Sam is giving me and performing for the first time her first blowjob. I'm sitting there on the ground after, basking in the moment and just relishing that I have met the most amazing woman ever. And in my head, I am set. I don't need anything or anyone else. I found my dream woman is right in front of me. And then karma decided to bite me in the ass because it knew before I did what I was going to do here in a little short while. And by karma, I mean an anthill. Because yes, my fat ass sat down on an anthill. Now, this is where I make the comment that I think I've told this story before, because that's usually where I ended the story, if I remember correctly. But I'm not going to end it there this time. Because you see, recently I've been doing a lot of soul searching and kind of hindsight thing. And I don't know how to explain it. I've been looking back on my past and wondering what if. Well, this is that what if that I really wish I could take back sometimes. So me and Sam go to the movies, and while we're in the movie theater, actually, she's making it very clear her intentions, and she's making her feelings for me very, very clear as well. She continues the naughty fun time stuff while we're in the theater, but while we're sitting there, for whatever fucking reason, I start thinking about what Maria told me at school. And I start thinking, man, did I just throw away my chance to be with her? So, here's the thing. Before some of you start judging me going, no! Yeah, you already know what's coming, so let's not pretend. I had a big thing for Maria. I had a thing for her for 3 years at this point, and she basically had just told me a few hours prior to this she was down to be my girlfriend. I'm an idiot. I'm here. I am with Sam in the movie theater. She has given me a blowjob. She has also now given me a hand job. And as we're sitting there and the movie is getting close to ending, she leans over to me, kisses me on the cheek, and says, I really, really am enjoying myself, and I really like you, and I want to make this like a thing. I want us to be a thing, and if you want, I know somewhere we can go and we can, consummate our relationship. That's what she says to me. It was such a fucking... If you don't know what she's saying, I'll tell you what she was saying. Point blank, she was saying, hey, I really like you. I want to be your girlfriend. And so I want to show you that by fucking you. And I knew that's what she was saying. But in my head, I'm thinking, this is a mistake. I can't do this. I want to do this, and I'm going to regret it, but this is a mistake. I need to know where things are going to go with me and Maria. Yeah. You all have permission to whack me in the back of the head one time for this, okay? So, of course, we would leave the theater, we'd leave the movies, and we'd start heading to the trolley, because that was pretty much the majority of the date. Go see a movie, and then, that's it. It's 1999. I'm 17. I have no money. So, we go, we're at the trolley, and she goes, so did you want to go somewhere? And I said, I want to, but I think we should hold off this time. And she says, okay, that's fine. I'm glad you feel that way. It makes me feel a little better about it. Yeah, I felt like crap. I felt like absolute dog shit in that moment because I knew the real reason, and it wasn't because I was trying to be a gentleman. Although, truth be told, I was, because I knew here she is throwing herself at me. I could have been a dickhead and said, yeah, let's go fuck. And then fucked her and then did what I'm about to do. But I knew that was, I'd already crossed the line, and there was no taking that back. So I get home, and about an hour or two after I got home, Sam calls me. She's like, I had a really fun time today. I was glad we finally met, and I think this is going to be perfect, and I can't believe I finally found someone that, and I cut her off, and I'm like, Sam, I don't think we can do this. I don't think I can do this. What? Are you kidding me? Like, what happened? Why? I don't understand. I can't get into it, but I just think, I don't know why, but I feel like I'm making a mistake. Sam would hate me for the next year. And I know because she told me as such. Because a year later, Sam and I would bump into each other. And we would have a nice chat. And that's where I'm going to leave that. Because here's the reality. For those of you that haven't already put two and two together, I just screwed up with this amazing woman who was not only blunt and very clear with me of her intentions and her interests, something I swear to God, I wish more women were blunt and honest and just direct, because it would save a lot of fucking time. And that was Sam. She didn't have time to mince words or play games. She was straight up and honest and real with you. Most of the time. But the thing was, she was everything I wanted. She wanted kids. She knew she already knew at 16, almost 17, she wanted to get married and have a family. She wanted it more than anyone else I'd ever met. And she wanted it with me, of all people, my dumbass. In hindsight, I know she's very glad things didn't work out between us, because if they had, while she probably would have been happy with her life, she's much happier in the life she's living now than the life she may have been living. And I know this because I've spoken to her recently. Long story short, she found out my dad had passed away, and she also knew about my mom, but she didn't find out about my mom for like 5 or 6 years after my mom passed, and she was like, it's a little late to that party, so I'm not going to dive into this one. But when she found out about my dad, she was like, oh, crap. And so she sent her condolences, and she and I just started talking, and that's part of the reason why the hindsight conversation came up, and we started talking about what ifs. And I'm happy for her in the life she's living now. She's very happy with her life and where she is in it. But we both agreed, like, if I hadn't been an idiot, we probably would be married, had kids. Although her number of kids scares the shit out of me. She made the joke. She was like, yeah, no, we probably have 6 kids. And I'm all, oh, fuck me. But Think about it. I mean, she wants to fuck a lot, so hey, that's not a bad thing. I'm getting over being sick. Bear with me. Ooh, excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. Anyways, I could cut that out, but it's no. But no, man. She doesn't even live in the U.S. anymore. So, but it was fun catching up with her. And the thing is, a couple years ago, I'd bumped into her online, of all places, on a dating site. She recognized me immediately. I did not recognize her. I felt horrible for it. But she was like, yeah, a couple years ago, I hated your guts. I hated you for a long fucking time. And I'm all, you had every right to. I deserved it. I was an idiot. I was a scumbag. I was a piece of shit. She goes, no, you were a 17-year-old kid and then an 18-year-old kid who didn't know better. You've clearly matured. You've clearly grown up. You've clearly learned from your mistakes. But the fact of the matter is, you didn't do anything malicious. You were just young and dumb. But I'll be honest, from my perspective, yeah, I was young. Yeah, I was dumb. But it still bothers me that here I was with literally the woman I have been looking for since, and she was right there in front of me. And I threw it away for someone who would cheat on me a few months later. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Thank you guys for joining me. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll be back next week with another one. Until next time, adios.